What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Quick video today. We're going to be replacing the floorboard, or the plywood in this case, on this 5x8 trailer. So let's get started. You can see this is original plywood. It has seen better days. It's starting to rot out. When I step on it, it's got some weak spots. So we're going to take this plywood off. We're going to see what kind of a frame we have, which I believe it's not going to be like a 16 on center or something I can put 2x6s on. So I might have to replace it with the plywood. So let's get all this equipment off and we'll take a look. And yes, I had to put my signs on the inside of the trailer. You can see here, only when I'm driving on the road I flip them on the outside, because again, if you've watched my videos, I have neighbors that just have nothing better to do, you know what I mean? Alright, here we go. We have it empty. First thing you want to do is kind of look and see how this thing is secured in place. Looks like there's some just regular screws, and if I come underneath the framing, I don't feel any nuts or anything or washers. So these must be either self-tapping screws or metal screws that go into the framing. So I'm going to go and grab my drill, Phillips head, and we're going to start removing all these screws. The other thing you want to do is measure. Make sure you actually have the plywood on hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way up like this. Go all the way to the end. And yeah, we have 8 feet. And then you can see where this piece was put together all the way up. So if we come across, right at that seam is 4 feet. So we know at least we need one sheet, and then we need another one that's 8 feet long by, it looks to be 11 3/4. All right, so I'm gonna need a full sheet, 8x4, and then I'm gonna need one that's 8 by 11 3/4. And if you have a table saw, you set it up. If not, grab a circular saw, battery powered or plug-in. Mark your piece. Again, we'll measure 11 3/4, I believe. Measure twice, cut once, or measure 3 times and cut once. We're going to remove all these screws. And I checked underneath. You got to be careful because your wiring for your brakes and stuff, brake lights, there's sometimes the wires are stapled to keep up underneath to the bottom of the plywood. So you want to get underneath, pull all the staples off, let the wire hang, because if you start to rip the plywood out, you're going to damage the wiring underneath. So let's see, we'll go underneath and take a quick look so you know what I'm talking about. See the wiring, how it's stapled just to keep it off the ground. So we're gonna have to pull that off. Then we'll get rid of the plywood. And like I thought, it just looks like they're just screwed into these beams under here. So let's take the plywood out. Looks pretty nice under here. It's in good shape. And we'll go grab some other plywood and we'll reattach it. Then obviously when we get the plywood down, we're gonna have to get some paint. Some black stain or protective paint, whatever's good for outdoors. And I'm going to build the sides up a little bit all the way around. Throw some 2x4s in into each of these notches, and we're going to run some 2x6s, maybe 2 or 3 high all the way around. Give it some height. So if I got to throw some mulch in here, you know, you got the sides, it'll hold a lot more. Or if you want to do a dump run, you could hold a lot more crap in the back of these trailers. And we'll obviously extend the back too. So let's take care of the floor first, and then we'll move on to building the sides up. Here's another look underneath, and they are what I thought, self-tapping screws right into the frame there. You can see them coming out. All right, let's remove them all. Just like I thought, these screws aren't coming out. They're all rusted in, so when you try to take them out, they're either stripping or breaking. So what you have to do is grab yourself one of these bars here, get it underneath, pry it up. It'll just come right up and start to break. I'm going to rip it all up. Then we're going to have to go after those screws, either cut them out or usually just twist them with pliers and they break. And we're going to just rip this stuff up real quick and see what we got underneath. All right, so we got all the plywood off. You can see here some of the screws existing. These guys won't come off, so what you can do is you can either bang them back and forth, and they'll literally fall off like that. Just make sure you pick them up, you don't leave them in the driveway. You don't want these ending up in your tires. So we're gonna go around and we're gonna knock these off. And don't worry, the new self-tapping screws you can put anywhere. You can put anywhere along the edge here. It doesn't have to be the exact hole. And when we put the full sheet in, it's gonna be on this beam all the way up. And then that little piece this way. So it's going to be pretty basic to replace, and remember the wiring that's hanging, you're going to re-staple that underneath when you're finished. So let's get all the nails off, and let's get another piece of plywood. We'll put the big piece down first, we'll secure it, and then we'll measure for the last. Now if you're not good with measuring, what you can do is take the old piece, if it's not damaged, place it right on top of a piece of plywood, and just mark it out. That's the easiest way. Especially if you don't have a table saw or you don't have a way to mark a straight line. All right, that's for people that are just starting off. Use the old pieces as templates if they're in good condition. All right, now that all the screws are gone, it wouldn't hurt if you have a hose nearby. Clean out all the corners, get all the little dirt out. Just go around the whole thing, give it a nice cleaning. I blew it off with the backpack blower, all the thick stuff. So let's just get all this corner crap out. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want a nice flat surface. And again, go around all your beams, make sure all the screws are out. Oh look, there's one right there I missed. You can see it. So, again, go around, make sure all of them are out. Nothing worse than when you drop that plywood down and it's uneven. And then you got to pull it back up. So it's right there. You can see it. I'll get it with the hammer. Let this dry off a little bit. Tell you what, this trailer is an older trailer, but that axle, stuff looks like it's in good shape. Still has the sticker on there. So this was rarely used. Found this on a job. It was in a garage. Older guy owned it. I don't think he ever put it on the street. Alright, so let me get that screw out and then we'll go grab the plywood. Alright, we got the first piece in. What I recommend if you're replacing boards, plywood like this, the original was a 1/2 inch. This guy right here is 3/4 inch. So you're going to get more strength. You just have to get longer screws to accommodate the thickness. Remember, get the right self-tapping screws that'll go through 3/4 inch. And at least, I'd say at least 1/4 to a 1/2 inch into the metal. This way just gives you some extra you don't have to worry about. All right, so we got that, and I also have the groove here, if you look. So the other piece is going to slide right into that groove, and we're going to fit it in like a puzzle. So let me measure it out, and then I'm going to go cut a piece, and we're going to fit it in. The other thing I recommend is where you see your beams, right here, just mark it with a Sharpie all the way across, so you know you can put some screws that way. And if you look over here on some of these pieces are only so long and then they break. So make a mark here and here so you know you can hit this piece, and so on and so forth all the way up. Just mark it, doesn't matter. You're going to paint it. All right, so don't worry about the marks. Some guys I know out there want it perfect. What you're going to do is use your hammer and get this thing into place. Make sure it fits nice and tight. Go up to the corners. Go up to the top here. You want to make sure it fits nice and tight. All right, so the first piece is in. Let's get that second piece cut. Remember I told you you could use this as a template, cut your piece? I'll show you how. And the good thing about working on a trailer, as you can see, I'm using it as a table. So remember, we need the groove side towards the new piece. So don't cut the groove side off. You're going to put this guy, you're going to line it up from corner to corner. All right. We're going to use these clamps to put it in place. Make sure it overhangs the trailer, so we're going to move it out. So when we're using our saw, we're not hitting right into the frame. So I'll move this out a little bit to the right. So let's get this in place. We'll use these dollar clamps. You get these at the Home Depot. I'll take a quick picture of that. Boom. 99 cents. Look how nice they work. We're going to go underneath and we're going to literally have enough room to clamp both together while I cut. So let me place this piece of wood template down. Let's clamp it, and then I'll show you how we cut it real quick. All right, so there you go. I got it clamped together, the template on each corner. All right, then I got a clamp from the trailer to the whole piece, and because these are only 99 cents a piece, I got probably 30 of them laying around. And again, you want to make sure when you're cutting, you don't hit that frame right there. So we're a little bit to the right. So let's cut this off. The other way you can do it really quick is just take a Sharpie or a pencil, mark it all the way down and cut it. But this is for people that aren't used to doing that on a straight cut. Some people can cut with a saw, but when they follow a mark, you know, sometimes they get off a little bit. So we're basically going to butt up right against this top piece with the blade, and we're going to follow it all the way down. So let me go get the rigid, and we will continue to cut. All right, now that I grabbed the rigid Octane, all right, 6 saw. If you're interested in the platform, lifetime warranty, fellas. The Depot, I'm telling you, they're hot right now. They're doing real good. Set your depth, not too much deeper, and then we're gonna basically just start at the corner, and we're gonna ride that piece of wood all the way down, okay? I don't have to show the video. Let me cut it. Let me be safe. Use 2 hands. You're not going to get that much closer than that, my man. All right, let's get this piece off and try to fit it in there like a puzzle. All right, this bad boy's in, looking pretty good. Now, what I forgot to mention is when you're cutting this and you want to use the template, you have to add this little lip here, extra. And in my case, it was a 3/8 inch difference. Because when you put this thing in, what I did was I put it in like this, up against the lip, and then I pushed it down and stood and hit it all the way down so it compresses in. If you just cut the template, you're going to have a 3/8 gap on this side. Okay, so always add the extra for this little gap, because you're going to lose that when you push it into the wood, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. So put it down, step on, put it in like this, like I said, on an angle, then you push down, and I had to step on it, really get it in here. Some spots it's really tight, which is nice. Then you want to take a 2x4. Let me just show you real quick. Grab a scrap. Obviously the gate wasn't on, but put it against the 2 pieces and bang the shit out of it so it all evens out the best you can. Most important, before you start screwing this down, put your gate, if you have a folding gate like this, put it back on. Make sure you can shut it and there's no problems. Because if the wood is too long, it'll be stuck like right there. And then you're gonna have to trim the edging, you know what I mean? So before you do the screwing down, make sure you can shut your gate. All right, so what I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna mark the studs. Well, I know where they are, but you mark the studs on the side on the wood. We're gonna get some self-tapping screws, because right now this thing is locked in place very tight. I forgot to mention, you want to drill a small 3/4 inch hole on each corner, and maybe one down here and over here for drainage issues. If it fills up with water, it will drain. Okay, that's it. That's basically how you replace a floor if you have a plywood floor on your trailer. All right, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. What do we got to do now? If you watch my videos out there, you know what I'm talking about, kid. Sonny! Where are you, Sonny? I know where he is. Trying to be slick. Sonny! Sonny!
Yes, Sonny.